Brother, what would happen if you truly believed that it was impossible to fail? What if you truly felt deep in your soul, within your bones, that success was imminent? It was impossible to fail. You would be unstoppable because every challenge you would come across in your journey, on your path, you would realize, you would see clearly that these obstacles are just mental projections. They are obstacles set in place by your mind. And if you knew that all you had to do was just to keep moving forward, you would ignore them because they don't really exist. You would realize that it is impossible to fail because the outcome is already set in place. It exists, and all you have to do is move on the path forward towards that outcome. If you truly believe deep in your soul that it was impossible to fail, you would not hesitate. You would not overthink. We get lost in this third dimensional realm of infinite choices of free will because we have free will and because technically, on paper, there are infinite choices you can make at any given moment. But when you have something clearly set in your mind that you want, there's the one thing, the goal you have, and you truly see that, and you truly believe that, and that's what you have set your sights upon, there's only a handful of actions that will actually lead to that results. Every other choice fades away because to get that outcome, to make the money, to get the girl, to build the body, to learn the skill, to get the job, whatever it is that you've set your sights upon, you realize that there's only like 2 or maybe 3 or 4 actions that you have to consistently take to actually move you closer towards that outcome, to summon that thing into your reality. And every other infinite choice that could possibly be taken will fade very, very quickly away. There would be no more hesitation, because the only reason we hesitate is because we are unsure about the future. We're like, should we take this choice? Should we choose this option? What action am I supposed to take? But the reality is, if you're honest with yourself, if I'm honest with myself, we know what we're supposed to be doing. We already know the actions we're supposed to be taking. There's a handful of things you need to focus on a daily basis. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 things every single day. Do those consistently, and success will be inevitable. Maybe it's 6 months from now, maybe it's 5 years from now, maybe it's 20 years from now. But that is not important because all we have is the present moment. And the only thing we can do is what we can do right now. You can only do as much as you can with what you can right in this moment. What resources do you have available to you mentally, physically, monetarily, energetically? What are those resources that you have that you can spend towards that outcome? And use those as effectively as possible because the outcome is imminent if you consistently stick with those actions. If you believed that success was imminent and it was impossible to fail, and here's spoiler alert, it's impossible to fail because creation is already finished. Everything that can exist does exist in this moment because reality and God is infinite and everything exists here all at once. And all you have to do is change your energetic frequency to summon those things into your reality. That doesn't mean to sit on a chair and meditate all day. We are in the physical reality, and so the number one thing you have to do to change your vibration, to summon these things into your reality, is to believe it's possible, but then also take the actions necessary to get to that outcome. Because if you truly believed, then you automatically, by default, with no hesitation, would take the steps necessary to achieve that result. You have to just believe. It sounds so cheesy, it sounds so cringy because everybody on fucking Instagram and all these like cringy self-improvement Twitter posts are like, just believe in yourself. Nya, 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 nya. But dude, it's so true. It's so true. If you truly felt deep within your bones that it was fucking impossible to fail, there was no way you could fail, you would just by default take the actions. You would be so excited, so driven, and you would just consistently act on those inspirations and excitements that you have. And here's another thing too. When we come into this physical reality, a lot of people never really think about like what was before this physical reality. And this is simply my perspective, so you can take this or leave this, but we were in another dimension, if you want to put it that way. We were in the spirit realm or something, and we had a choice to come here into physical reality to make choices. We knew what was going to happen. Now, there's a veil of forgetting that we have on when we come to Earth. There's a veil of forgetting, so we basically forget everything that we knew before in the spirit realm. And we kind of have to learn on the go in this human body, but you already know what's going to happen. Creation is already finished. Everything that is supposed to happen will happen. There's actually nothing you can do about it. Now, you have free will and you can make choices, but the part of your soul that is timeless, you want to call this the higher self, you want to call this your infinite connection to God, whatever you want to call it, already knows, because time is simply an illusion that we perceive on the physical realm. It doesn't actually exist in the grand infinite scheme of things. So even if you take action and it doesn't result in the exact specific way that you had in mind, it doesn't matter, because you were inspired to take those actions and they led where they did. And all you have to do as a human being is to follow your highest excitement with absolutely zero insistence on what the results are supposed to look like. Now, you can have an idea, you can have a picture to get excited about for what the future is supposed to look like, and that will be part of the feeling of excitement. But your only job is to just like be excited about an action to get to a result, and then act on it and let the results be what they may. You're not supposed to plant a tree just for the fruit, and then because if you do, let's just say you plant the tree and you take care of it, and then 20 years from now, just before the tree is starting to bear its first blossoms and apples and oranges or whatever the tree is gonna hopefully produce, what if a storm comes and strikes it down? Does that mean the entire 20 years that you took care of that tree was just for naught? Absolutely not. Because the joy, the true exciting part of that experience was the fact that you were present in this moment, taking action, inspired action, present action. And that is all that matters. So if you believe, if you feel deeply in your soul, in your bones, that it is impossible to fail, because it is impossible for you to fail, your only job is to take the actions that you need to take and let the results be what they may. That is your only fucking job. And if the results look differently than how you planned, that's how it was supposed to happen. And you can take that or leave that. That's what I truly believe. Now, some religions label this as like, oh, divine timing, it's God, this, that, the other. You can, view it from whatever perspective you want. But, sorry, let me adjust the lighting real quick. Whatever your reality looks like right now is exactly how it's supposed to look. Because if it was supposed to look any other way, then it would look that way. Everything is exactly as it needs to be. Because the infinite reality that we call God, or the universe, or your higher self, or infinite source, includes every single possible experience that could ever exist. Therefore, that infinite number of choices, that infinite set of experiences, includes you going through this exact experience right now. Because the all that is, if you want to call that God, the all that is, infinite awareness, has to experience every single thing that possibly exists for it to be all that is. Because without even one thing, it would not be all that is. So knowing that, that future that you have in mind, that goal that you think you want to achieve or whatever, you have that dream for a reason. You have that in your mind for a reason. So follow it, because it's impossible for you to fail. It is impossible. The only thing you can be certain of is that it will go exactly how it's supposed to go. If you are meant to make that money, if you are meant to make that sale, if you're meant to have that girl come into your life, if you're meant to build that very, very healthy body and strong physique, that will come to fruition as long as you take the action necessary for that to come into your life. And even if you take the action and you don't get the exact result that you had in mind, that is completely fine, because what you'll realize is the joy, the true joy of the goal isn't just actually achieving the thing that you say you want. It's actually in the present moment actions, because all we have is the present moment. Past does not exist. Future does not exist. These are illusions of the mind. Just take a moment to realize that, like, everything is exactly how it needs to be. And it is impossible for you to fail. Success is imminent. And if you don't believe that, you are correct. And if you do believe that, you are also correct. But only one of those perspectives will actually lead you to fulfilling your potential and manifesting that reality into physical existence.